1% better every day!
What's up, baby? It's your boy Shondo Blaze, and it's my boy Millie Mel.
What's going on?
And CJ Winning.
What's up, man?
And this is episode 2 of the 1% Better Everyday Podcast.
1%
Better every day.
Man, come on, don't take me. Hey, copyright. What Ricky Bobby say? Copyright. Come on, man. We, as you can see, we having a good time, a real good time. I guess let's get into it. Man, what you got that cup over there?
Okay, I just have, look, it's a little crown apple.
Somebody say, okay,
ladies and gentlemen.
It's a little crown apple, you know, just to.
If you got sinuses, you need to put this cup on your nose.
I mean, it's straight, no chaser, but I'm just letting you know.
You will be fine. Well, I kind of want to get into it because it's a little funny, but it's a little dirty on my part. Like, so, okay. So, the last podcast we did on episode 1, we did it on my phone. It was like an hour and 20 minutes long. So, we spent the majority of the time before this trying to get it off of there. So, we'll get it off and we'll get it out to the people. But I just, I don't know. That was an interesting moment. So, we learned a lot of things from that. I know I did. So, don't put an hour and a half worth of content on your phone.
Right. That same thing happened on mine. It like chopped it up into like a 35-minute video, 30-minute video, and 20 video.
Oh, it chopped it up?
Chopped it up. Yeah.
See, I don't like when phones just do shit that I didn't.
Yeah, I was like, you just gonna
I don't like this
make
shit.
your own shit.
I don't like this shit.
So Apple got their algorithm. They want you to use all their products, so we can figure it out. But that's a big file on the phone. Plus, the phone's shooting like 4K.
That's true. But I mean, that's true. I'm thinking about what you just said, though. I'm a little mad. that they chopped the videos up on this. It reminds me of like the autocorrect.
Right.
Like, no, I didn't want to say duck you. Like,
man, you know what? I hate to say on my way, but you say OMW, but they say what? On my way with an exclamation.
Right.
Yeah, like, you look at me, but now I said
right. Like, I don't like when the phone takes it upon itself to like,
speak for you, like do something for you.
But I guess I can't really trip because when you're doing he killed me.
I know. Can you go somewhere? Look, single father. Hey,
this is real. You guys are getting reality. His little boy is in the background. He knows he got it. He is.
Can you go?
You gotta make your own fun.
He said, man, I'm finna jump up and down.
Right.
No, I'm up here.
Golly.
You want some? Do we have some candy? Something.
We got some candy. Damn, that's gonna turn up.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
So look,
we don't want to.
What I wanted to say was, can I take my child? I ain't want to throw my child off on somebody else. I'm like, can I take him with y'all?
Does he know how to walk through there and go through the door?
Probably.
Oh wait.
So anyway, like we were saying.
Yeah, right. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't like that. Did your phone take it upon itself to like just do shit you didn't want it to do?
Man, not my phone, but I did have a camera. I was doing some recording. Supposed to be this nice camera, supposed to shoot in 4K. I went to upload, and it dissected the interview. Matter of fact, I knew what it was. I was interviewing my grandmother, who is the matriarch of the family.
Right.
And I was just asking her a bunch of questions that is going to be for our family that we can always look back on because, unfortunately, or fortunately, but
people pass on.
People pass on.
Right.
My grandma is healthy, alive, and here and with us.
How old is your grandma? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Man, tell you the truth, I think she's 79, if I'm not mistaken.
I think my grandma's
she's
like 90, bro.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
that's a long time to be here, bro.
Coherent,
Right.
able to remember a lot.
Right.
Let's try to get that information because if we don't get it now we
it's like
memory.
You know what's so crazy? Like when you think about how many people like get Alzheimer's and all that type of stuff, like that's a lifetime of knowledge just fucking gone. That shit is crazy. Like now that you really mention it like that.
Yeah.
You gotta get your
That's
people
good for
on
anybody listening or watching.
You gotta get your people on video.
Like, if you got a grandfather that's still with you,
You
a
gotta
grandmother,
get your people
or
on
whoever
video,
is the maternal, paternal matriarch
Right.
of the family, bro, sit down, just have a list of like simple questions. Where'd you grow up? Who was your best friend? Like, tell me about the times you were in. Because once it's gone, it's gone. But now my whole family can go back
and see
and watch it and be able to like, man, I remember back when she said her best friend was such and such. Like, nope, rewind the tape.
Right.
She said it was this. Like, oh,
right, bro.
So it was something like that. But back to your point, I was doing that video, doing an interview, and when I tried to upload it, it chopped it up in like 30 or 40 minute sections.
Man,
I don't know.
I don't like that. I don't know. Do y'all have electronics that does that to y'all? That pisses me off. If it like don't take what I'm saying and mix it up. Don't take videos. I want them all solid. Because what if she was in the middle of a dope ass point and then it did that? I mean, yeah, you can put them together. So when it chopped them, did it have a slight blip in between? Like when you put the videos all together?
Slight, but it was. I knew it was there.
See,
it wasn't clean.
Like that cigarette burn.
Big Mama need that complete thought. We don't need no.
Right? I don't need
that. Yeah, like we edited this or something. Big Mama talking.
But it is what it is. We still got it.
Man, listen.
Still there.
Listen.
What we got for this episode 2?
Today,
what we got?
I really want to get into like emotional people, like the emotions, especially men. See, on this podcast, we really talk about the stuff that's going on with men. Because I'm just gonna be honest with you, ladies, everything is catered to y'all. I mean, y'all got The Real, The View, talk shows up the ass.
Right.
It's not a whole lot of stuff made for the guys that's bringing them shit straight, no chaser, and just trying to get them from here. Exactly. Trying to get them from here to here in a way that's palatable to them and that's encouraging at the same time. We're not trying to preach to you, but at the same time, we're trying to make the conversations that may go on with them on the sidelines be a little bit more productive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I really want to talk about like all this emotion and shit like surrounding the country. I'm seeing a lot of dudes, bro, that sound real emotional when it's coming down to posts and all this type of shit, dog. Like, you know what I mean? It was one dude that wrote something like, the country sucks and all this type of shit. I'm like, what the fuck
somebody
are you talking about?
So somebody was telling me about, what was it, Greenland or Iceland? And they were talking about how their taxes and all this type of stuff. I'm like, okay, but do you know how Greenland or Iceland works? Like, do you know they don't have any maximum security prisons? They have no racial diversity. They're completely gender neutral in that all of the women pretty much play their role and all of the men pretty much play their role. Like, when you want to, like, oh, you just giving me something just to talk down on America.
Right.
Like, can you pull your ass to Greenland then?
Bro,
why don't you take your ass to Greenland and let's see what's going on?
What's so crazy is, so he said it, so I couldn't help it. I proceeded to go down in the itemized list on his dog ass. I said, okay, I hear what you're saying. I say, well, because he was like, man, to be honest with you, you know, it's other places with, no, he was like, there's other places with, certain stuff with the military and rights and da. I said, my boy, listen. I said, listen, man. I said, you got places that can't even fucking get on YouTube. Right. You got other countries that don't even have access to the same fucking app that you own right now.
Exactly.
You got people that monitor what people are saying. I said, bruh, stand all the way down. When is the last time you heard of somebody taking a voyage to any other country and leaving their wife and damn near dying on the trip there?
Right.
This is the only place
where
motherfuckers is risking life and limb to get to this motherfucker.
Cause they know it's open. They know that somebody.
Who the fuck would leave their wife to go to Norway? Like, I'm gonna leave my wife and my kid over here for 3 years and send for a while to Norway. Nobody. Keep with it.
So what you think about, like, as to that point, right? Because everybody talking about how they're handling the coronavirus and how our numbers are higher than everybody else's, but we got less people type of thing. I attribute that to the fact that we are free. Like, we could tell the truth. Like, you can't hide it from us.
My thing is, I think it's a moot point trying to get into those numbers, bro. Like, those numbers, like, man, listen, you got a lot of stuff going on right now. You got to understand, news outlets make money off of getting fear and just getting you to watch. So to me, when money is involved, all bets are off.
Right.
Period. Because you can finesse any fucking thing for $1. So I'm not saying that the shit is not bad. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be cautious, blah, 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 blah. Right. But what I am saying is that when money is involved, numbers can get manipulated.
True.
You feel what I'm saying?
So that's a lot of people are emotional for that same reason. Meaning, if you go through your Instagram feed, you go through Facebook, you watch TV, when you sitting around a bunch of people that's complaining, guess what you're gonna start doing?
Complaining.
Absolutely. When you start crying, so it also goes into who are you surrounding yourself by, and what's the conversation gonna be like? If you want to surround yourself with like-minded people or people smarter than you, guess who you gotta hang around. So when I hear that, when I hear people complain, it's like you already know what channel they watch. You already know what they listen to.
It's crazy. That's how it works.
And that's how it works. Look at people explore page on Instagram. I tell you that.
It's all the same thing.
Crazy.
That will tell you the truth.
That's. So I'm glad. Oh, I love it because, fellas, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. A man being overly emotional is no good.
That's feminine.
Let me tell you why. Because a lot of people will just take offense to that. Like, man, dudes need to show their emotional. Let's start breaking it down, right? So when I first started fighting, right?
Okay.
I first started fighting, and the first time you get hit, and the crowd says, "Ooh," first thing you want to do is get this motherfucker back. Right? That's the emotions fucking talking.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, the second you do that shit, you gonna get your motherfucking ass lit up.
Right.
When you emotional, you making so many mistakes.
Right.
You're not thinking with the type of level-headedness that's needed to be able to execute these moves at a high level.
Yeah.
So emotions in that sense is a no-go. Let's take it to another situation. When you got people that's out here in the military, I love talking to guys that have served and that have been in like real combat because these motherfuckers are calm. Like when war and shit is going on, like most people be like, bruh, that's when you gotta be calm.
Right.
That's the only way you can think.
Right.
Fellas, if you out there and after everything happens, it's a knee-jerk reaction for you to go to social media and write a whole paragraph long worth of shit saying that this is why this is fucked up. You're not even thinking. We just gave reasons in here why America is the greatest country on the planet. Period.
Right. And you choosing to use the opportunity to emote instead of trying to come up with solutions to fix your situation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'll be honest with you, like my online my online personality, you would think I'm a chauvinist from the 1800s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's why I got you on there. Hey, we're gonna get to the basics here.
Every female who puts a post or a woman, cause I know it's, some women don't like to be called females, so women. So every woman who puts a post up like throwing a little shot, like oh, she only know her real strength because no man never gave her nothing to hold on to. All that type of stuff. Like, well, if your ass gonna try to hold on to every handlebar, maybe if you put two hands on one nigga, maybe you would have held on tight. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. But
I'm lit. You gotta juggle that shit up.
But then that's me. But like, why am I going back and forth in emotional sense with her? By her opinion, was me on my outside, from my perspective. I don't know what she's been through. She don't know what I've been through, and I'm a man. So why am I trying to explain to you? I should just be an example of what a leader like. Yeah, you talking about them dudes, and that's what you can't be talking about me.
That's it.
So I don't care.
That's it.
It's mute. You know what I mean? So
leaders gotta be level-headed.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I just, you know what I mean? What? Like, you know.
I mean, now I'm listening to you like,
what you think?
And that's what I like about the show. You can hear different perspectives.
Right.
I love because anybody that's played sports can always relate life lesson through sports and
that's why
being on the team.
Yeah.
But hearing like
that's why it's important, guys.
I never been a fighter. I never been in a ring in a traditional sense like you have, or served in the military.
Right.
But to hear how you relate those two things when you have that conversation, like you can't fall into the trap of emotion.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just bring it down a little bit.
Exactly. Especially as a man, it's too dangerous for us. It's just too dangerous for a man to be emotional in a situation.
And that's what. And this is
black men.
This is one of the things. This is one of the things that I had a conversation with about this past week. It was like, listen, for a lot of my guys out there, you may have been raised by your mom. You know what I mean?
I knew it was going to tell you. When you told me to talk about emotions, I was like, we're going to get to this.
A lot of guys may have been raised. Listen, we got to get into it. A lot of guys may have been raised by their moms. And it's no problem. We know women across the country have been doing their best forever to raise little boys. The thing is that if you have the type of mom that was like more mouthy or more, you know what I mean, in your face than others, for her, that's fine. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not gonna, she may not look scary doing that type of shit.
Right.
She may not look a certain way when she's spazzing out. Y'all ever been in like a club in college or whatever, and two girls get into it and they break them up, but they can still both stay in the club?
Man, I was a bouncer at the club. I ain't gonna
shit. Okay.
now women today
Right.
in the club,
Right.
they're the ones
Right.
who are getting into it the most.
Right.
Like we're really throwing them out the
Right,
club now
right,
because I'm just crazy. They so entitled.
Right,
It's so
right,
crazy. Like
right.
they won't move. They're like, why?
Right.
Are you gonna touch me? Oh my God! Are you gonna hit me?
But no. See, okay, you see what you just said right there? I seen a bunch of videos where dudes would be in front of a cop or in front of another dude, and they'd be like, "What you gonna hit me? What you?"
Like so emotional.
It's like
hope somebody to do something.
We're like we're going so against like human, like as a male, right? Human nature perspective,
Right.
Oh, you have to understand there's certain things that you're just not going to be able to say, and it sit with a man for a certain period of time. It may sit with him for a little while in the beginning because he may be trying to keep his job.
Right.
He may be trying to not get arrested. You know, but after a certain point. But if you grew up and you saw that your aunties,
Your mama,
and everybody, you know what I'm
they
saying?
don't play by the same rules.
We're getting to
but
that
they think
point.
like that. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that's why, you know, for a lot of situations, we got to get these little dudes with, it's great if they play sports. They got to get that male outlook, especially if they're learning from a level-headed male. Yeah. Because that emotional shit, bro, it's like, he's got his Rottweiler. The way we connected in the beginning was our dogs went to the same dog school. Yep. Okay?
That's
cool.
Yeah, dope.
The thing that I love about my dog, I have a Belgian Malinois, and these are the dogs they use like in the military and shit like that. But what I love about the dog is that it's just business. When I grew up, it was like a good dog was one that was trying to bite every fucking body and do all that shit because I didn't know necessarily like what a good protection dog was.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's a liability.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Somebody being on that,
too emotional.
That's
a
fucking liability.
Everybody.
That's a liability.
Right.
Like that's
big
exactly
liability.
why I took him to
Right.
train.
The
Because
car down.
having a 120-pound dog in the neighborhood
Bruh.
is literally
It's
a
a liability.
liability. A neighbor could sue me
It's a
in my
liability.
house if my dog got out the yard and bit
And that's what
somebody.
these dudes are here. Liability.
Liability.
Too emotional, bro.
But with the dog, the thing that I like about the Malinois is that they can be around anybody, walk around, sniff everybody. Everybody can pet them. The second I give this dog the word, he's on your ass. But he's not biting you because he's mad at you. He's biting you because that was the command.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not emotional. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
There's
It's my job, bro.
There's no fucking emotional
Yeah.
attachment.
Right.
And that's why that shit is so dope to me.
Right.
And I look at the dog, and I look at other aspects of my life, like just say with the fighting, or with the gunfight lead stuff, or whatever. It's like, bruh, level-headedness.
Right.
Being able to keep yourself on an even keel no matter what the fuck is going on. I think a lot of dudes are missing that. And when I get online, it's like, it almost saddens me in a way like, damn.
But why are they like that?
I just said it like without disrespecting anybody. Like it's a lot of female dominated households where their only interaction with somebody interacting with other people may be from an emotional person. Even if it's not from their mom, maybe they got an uncle or something it may be another dude. But I know that there's a lot of emotion being put in these little cats because they looking at emotional people, and you gonna mimic what you see.
So don't you think like with social media in a way, like, cause a lot of times stuff become an echo chamber.
Right.
You know, because like we talking about algorithms and all
Right.
that. So anything you leaning towards,
Right.
it is getting pumped back.
Showing you
into
more of that.
So we have a generation growing up now to where like all they've ever known is echo chambers.
Right.
In what they call it, confirmation bias.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But whatever I think is right is right. So
Right.
that's how you get an NT for this
Yeah.
or that because you like I'm so radicalized.
Right.
I believe in what I've come up with so much in my mind
Right.
that the world must be like this, so
Right.
that everything you see is like that.
And I think that, and what that does is that doesn't allow the opportunity for people to fucking listen. Let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
Let me hear what you got to say. And that's what you're getting a lot of. These dudes, they just you just talking, but you're not even really thinking about what you're saying. Like we just talked about. I ain't never seen a motherfucker say, I want to get to Norway, like I'm saving up $20,000 to go to Norway. Like no.
So how could you talk down on this country and be like, I look at China as like the country.
But like I'm saying, you just echo off what you see,
Right,
what
exactly.
you hear.
Yeah.
Like people talk about our last election when Trump was elected to office and Russia and Putin had.
Yeah.
Like if you really go back and figure out what they did,
Yeah.
Right.
all they did was echo what you were already looking at.
Right, facts.
Like they gave you a little breadcrumb.
That's
you
it.
just ate it all
All
up.
up and then
Hey, to keep it G,
do this like now
Bro.
you just like
Exactly.
to keep it G, it was the same thing with the wall. I don't know if y'all know, but like he had representatives that were putting out tweets and doing all type of shit. When they put the tweet out about the wall, it got the most response. So they said, we gotta go with this.
Right.
This is a numbers game.
Right.
We talking
all about everything is
Hey,
numbers.
You see what I'm saying?
and then you go on your phone, you Google, what is Trump talking about with this wall?
Come on, bro.
That's
But
all
next thing you know, now it's all in your feed.
All
like,
in.
just-
And
now
when you go
now
on
you hear
IG,
hearing that side of it.
ads and shit popping up.
These are the
You like, I
numbers.
knew this. I knew you would buy shit.
Right, and then you take that, and then you go right to social media.
Right,
with
right.
some shit.
Yeah, and then you be posting shit. You ain't
Come on,
fact
bro.
check. You ain't
Ain't nothing.
like,
Nobody
Ain't nothing.
That's crazy.
Because
that's how everything is. And that's how you get to these
But
emotions.
so how do we
Exactly.
so how do we combat that? Like, do we have to have real dialogue with people and understand? Because like whenever I'm like not on social media
Right.
and I'm just out in the world living, like I'm going to work out with my son and stuff.
Right.
I'm like I like people. Like
Right.
everything seems live, and then when I'm
Right.
online, I feel like, man, what the fuck you say? What the fuck?
But see, that's why I know on mine, I just choose to be any light and any darkness that I can be. I'm living in me and my truth of what's going on. That's why I jumped on there the other day, and I was like, look, everybody in the world telling you what's going wrong. Let me jump on this bitch and talk about what's going right.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, if you even looking at this shit, you winning.
Yeah.
You winning.
Right.
You coherent. You understand what's going on. You're not a vegetable out here.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Working in a
you're
hospital.
alive.
Straight up, bro.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's, now that what's funny is in my house, my wife called me Switzerland.
Okay.
Because I can always see different perspectives.
That's good.
I'm more even keel. I'll probably get that from my dad.
Right.
Backstory, now that when you brought that up about being raised, my parents broke up when I was like 12.
Okay.
Divorce, went through that. And I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
Back around 8th, 9th grade, no, it was about 7th, 8th grade, my dad got a job on the East Coast. He
Okay.
moved to Virginia.
Okay.
So coming into high school, I did 1 year of high school in Southern California.
And then the rest
And then my dad didn't even ask me. It was never like, you want to come out here with me, anything
Right.
like that. I was like, you know what? I probably need to go with my dad. I'm sorry to become a teenager.
Because at this point in your life,
I need a man.
yeah.
It wasn't like I wanted to leave my mom or
Right.
I wanted to leave my
That's
friends
smart.
and leave
Yeah.
Southern California. I just knew that at some point I'm going to need that. And I can tell you countless stories where it came into factor.
Bruh.
But my dad also is even killed.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of like sit back and do more listening
Yeah.
than talking.
Measure,
but then when you
measure
talk,
10 times
He got something to
what
say,
type
though.
do.
exactly.
He got something to
And
say.
I was able
Yeah.
to adapt that.
Yeah.
But for me, like when you say social media, like I can't say I've never been because I have purged myself from social media for a little bit just to get away from
That's
it.
good.
But I don't feel like I get sucked into the rhetoric or lean too far one way or another because I'm my own person.
Of
Like,
course.
I digest it,
Of
I hear
course.
what you say, but there's always two sides
I
to
don't
every
really
story.
care.
How did
Yeah.
I get that?
Yeah.
Why is that in my feed?
Right.
Oh, because I probably heard that, so maybe that's why I got that. Okay,
Uh-huh.
let me do a little bit of fact checking. Is that
Right.
Is that really what
Mhm.
that person said? You can doctor anything. You can,
Of course.
somebody can doctor our video and switch our heads.
Yeah,
up.
and then be
Nobody
like,
will
oh, he
know.
said you chopping up a certain
Right.
thing, and be like, he said that.
It's all numbers. I don't give a fuck what we talking about. Whatever somebody's putting out there repetitively, is so that you gotta think before anything like against the grain comes out, there's nothing to talk about. Like you notice, like most moments people are talking about is when a big happening or a big event happening, and it's like this is what we gonna apply attention to. So this is what we gonna put emotion to.
Sounds like
Instead of
crazy.
just that's it. And when you think about that, you can't get mad at media sources because goddamn, they gotta get people to the site.
Right. So do
You know what I mean? But you gotta, what I'm saying is you gotta know though. We gotta know. We gotta inform and be able to let them know like, hey,
Yeah.
this,
Stay
oh,
even.
And realize what's
But
happening.
this, you know what I mean?
Realize what's going on.
But like, just like you saying though, what's crazy is though, the only people who are gonna find us are gonna be the people who's already even killed to begin with, because how the algorithms and shit go. Like if you're somebody who's already been feeding into it, now you have to kind of actually search out a counterbalance. That's the only way I got out of it. Like once I realized that what I'm thinking is obviously not working in my life,
Right.
that's when I sought the other side.
But
But
that's what it is.
while I was in it, all I was seeing was that you're right.
But you
It's
know
fucked
what?
up, it's fucked
But
up.
this what I think though. Because of, if you look at us, right, we represent a certain group that normally ain't talking about this type of shit. Normally we be on this bitch talking about who fucking with who got a baby by who, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
But because we look like we do, but we're talking about a different subject, I think that we're gonna be able to get into different areas that it probably wouldn't have been like that had we been talking about a certain subject and looked like we were supposed to be talking about that subject.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this isn't necessarily like hip hop news.
Right.
So when you look at it, like damn, they talking on some like more positive, like pump you up, motivational type shit, but they look like, excuse me,
Right.
they look like
But
they
they
could be
said there was
on some hip hop news type shit.
Right.
I might
So-
come in here with a suit one day.
Yeah, fucking, hey, but that'll be dope though because that'll show that we're everything.
Yeah.
Right.
We everything, and that's why to really be everything, we got to get our minds to where it's like.
So let me ask you this. So we identified, call it a problem, call it whatever you want to call it, being overly
It's an
emotional.
issue. It's an issue.
The issue.
Yeah.
How does one identify that they are being overly emotional or sensitive? And once they identify it, how do they correct that?
The first thing that they need to do is really think about what you're saying and why you're saying it. Am I posting this shit pissed off about it just because I saw my boy Melly Mill post it? If you say, man, they not selling apples for $1.25 no more, and I just take that motherfucker and be like, bitch ass nigga tripping for not selling. Hold on.
Yeah.
Did I just get this information from you? Do I know that they not selling apples for? Like,
Yeah.
slowing the shit down. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I talked about, like the knee-jerk reaction of just,
Take a
I see,
breath.
right?
Relax.
That's it. Like, let me see if they really, you know what I mean? Like, if this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is a real thing. So, how much, by me venting about this and being pissed about this, like, how much is that adding to the real bottom line of, like, whatever the fuck I'm trying to accomplish in life? And that's my whole thing, bro. Like, if it's counterproductive to what the ultimate goal is, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck even waste time on the shit?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because, bro, we got how many years on this motherfucker, man? You know how many people have wasted, like, half of their I'm talking about, like, completely fucking wasted half of their fucking lives right now, bro.
Yeah, I wasted a lot of mine. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasted a lot of time.
But that's good you even recognize that, though.
Look,
You know what I'm saying?
but I was one of those people who love to, like, intellectually, I don't know a better way to say it, just intellectually go back and forth. I play devil's advocate.
Right.
I just wanna pull the
Wanna
thoughts out of you.
engage,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Yeah.
a dude, like, I look on the video.
Right.
I'm not looking at the video. I'm reading the comments.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm fucking with strangers.
Right.
Like, I'm going through the thing at the bottom. Like,
Right.
why you say that he ain't got no likes or comments?
Right,
Like,
right.
why your lame man say that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You had to throw that in there, man.
Why your lame man say that?
Right.
You don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Right.
But
You gotta control it.
I
Yeah.
do.
That's that
No,
nigga.
look, and I was doing it with me too.
Yeah.
So it's so
Like,
crazy how the world perceive you.
Right.
When you kind of fucking with people.
Yeah.
And then when you present yourself a certain way,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
That's what I thought, like,
you get emotional, but you don't.
bro, it's so
That's why,
fucking
like,
with
for
you.
me, that's why people like fall into that trap. In my opinion, why people have to get on social media because
You got to.
I read my comments and everybody's so negative. Bro, if anybody was ever in my comments, it's not going to affect me one way or another.
Right.
Because I don't want to get too high on my highs. Like, oh, I'm the shit. I'm popping right now. Or I don't want to get too low. Like,
Have you
man,
ever?
ugly.
Let me ask both of y'all this: have you ever posted something and you got an abnormal amount of like attention towards it, and then it stirred something in you to where you like, well, what did I do?
Right.
Yeah.
What was different about this one? That made it jump.
Right, because I was watching this thing on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. Have y'all seen that on Netflix?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Bro, you got to watch that.
I
And
didn't see
it
it.
talk about how it kind of like the likes, it's kind of influencing behavior.
It's
Was it released dopamine?
Right.
Does it release dopamine?
Right,
It
it's
has
what
to be
it's
something
what
like
I'm
that.
talking about.
Yeah.
But look though, because everybody's talking about, oh, well, you know, AI is eventually going to take over the world like Terminator type shit. Be like, no, it's already taking over. It's already manipulating behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like when if a female or a woman puts on one outfit that shows some more skin and that gets the most likes, guess what? If she's like, she cares about that, and she felt something, and she got that dopamine release, I'm like, damn, I only get 20 likes usually, but this time I got 120.
Right.
But bro, it's all, that's all. But
Then she might start showing
it
more
don't-
skin.
but it's not always social media. One, that's how that happens. 100%.
For sure.
You found out like, man, my positive quotes that I usually send out
Right.
don't get as many likes as
Right.
when I'm showing my ass.
Right, showing my ass.
myself in the gym.
Right.
So
That's
I'm
what
for that. So now you fix that.
Right.
But Which is, if that's what you want to do, then
Right.
so be
Pay
it.
yourself
So
to that,
recognize it. But at the same time, like, man, you just can't feed into it like some people do.
I think that's why, like, when I look at it, yeah, man, and then I may be a weirdo. I don't know. I may be a fucking weirdo. Everything when I look at it is business. I'm not all my posts are about business.
Right.
I'm saying when I'm looking at it, it's in an analytical way. If it's a female or whatever,
Yeah.
and she does post some shit to look a certain way so that she get. Like, if it was me, I'm bringing heat to a product
Right,
or
exactly. That's
you
what I'm
understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
Not to just to my ego.
right. So for me, it's like it's nothing that has ever necessarily been attached to the ego side. It's all about what
Can I monetize it?
exactly. How can I deliver it to the people in a way that they fuck with it to bring more attention to whatever you're trying to serve
That's
up.
what you should do.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a businessman,
But that's
No,
not
when you say that's an outlier, though, right?
But that, say it again.
You say, but when you say that the attitude you have will be an outlier.
That's why I said I could be a fucking weirdo.
No, but
Yeah.
but if we talk about how to stop
Weird.
being emotional,
But-
wouldn't that be a better way to go?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But it's just, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. A lot of times when I tell people that, they're like, "Well, damn, Shondo, everybody can't." You know, they hit me
That
with
makes sense to me,
everybody
though.
can't be, and I'm just like,
Well,
well,
everybody can't.
you know what I mean?
But you can listen. Like another point that I was going to make is that scenario of you doing stuff for likes
Right.
didn't start with social media.
That's
It's
exactly.
always been there.
So
Exactly.
what you that's
Social media
trends?
is
What
just-
you- So what would you call
No,
that?
no, it just-
Put it like this. My wife has, I don't know how many different perfumes in her closet.
Right.
But let us go out and let me say, out of all of them, I could have liked every single one of them.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that one day I said, "Oh, man, that smells real good on
She
me."
going back to
She
it.
gonna keep going
She
back
going
to
back to
it
it.
because she
Okay.
know, and that's just one small example.
Yeah.
In the same way you said the outfit that you post on social media get the most likes. What about when you was in middle school? And
Like,
you had
that's exactly
Oh, that started out with the
Hey,
jeans.
hey,
Yeah, you
that's
girls
exactly what I was about to
like
say.
jeans.
That's
If
exactly
you
what I was about to
bougie.
say.
Yeah.
That's your favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just represented in a different way.
Okay.
We are like,
I like that.
listen,
I like that.
as human beings, we're always going for the confirmation. Because it's not that you're necessarily, hey, how do I look? Hey, but if somebody says, ooh, I like the way your hair look, and this is a person that you value,
Right.
their opinion or
That
you
you
like them
value.
or whatever, it's like,
And
exactly.
that you back. I think that's the key point.
But
Right?
listen, it is, because when you get on social media, a lot of times
It's not value and people like moving. That's why they get emotional.
But what I think it is that even though it's not necessarily somebody that you value, it's still moving you because it's like a compliment or a rejection that stays there. If I tell you I don't really like this shirt, you get what I'm saying? That's why we so attached
It's
to
all
it.
perfect.
If I say my boy, I ain't really fucking with that shirt. That
a
comment,
digital record.
that comment is
That's a
gone.
record, yeah.
But
That's
I'm
a
saying
record.
it's gone. But if I hit him on there and be like, hey, I ain't really fucking
Yeah,
with the
that's-
shirt.
that's- if y'all believe that,
In the comments, that's like, so I think because on social media,
It stays.
it's there.
I agree.
I think that's why, but I'm saying I think to your point, I think that's the difference between like when you told your wife, hey, I like this fragrance, and if she had posted it online and had 1,000 people, maybe not your wife, but a woman,
I get what you're
period,
saying.
or a person,
I get what
and
you're
somebody put 1,000 comments like, oh, I love that one too.
Yeah.
Because your comment was in the moment. Like if you post it, that shit becomes a different thing. And it's like, even though you're not necessarily looking for the validation,
I definitely
you
hear
posted it so it's still
definitely
kind of
hear
there.
that, but going back to episode 1, kind of what I said.
Right.
Unlike you, in my opinion, and
Uh-huh.
I think for myself, I don't get emotionally tied into it. Now, because now your ego, oh, my boy gonna see that. Oh, that girl
Right.
gonna see that. Oh, now everybody
but
hates
that's
shit.
what happened.
Now you like
But
doing
that's what
stuff
happened.
because you worried about what other people think.
Right.
But what happens when you stop worrying about what everybody else
But
thinks?
that- but
Like,
that's
I know
what-
a little bit
that's
about
what
you.
you gotta
What
get
about-
to.
So he was on my other podcast, had Shonda on. That's another way that we met and
Yep.
clicked and was doing some stuff. But you shared a story where I think you was wearing something to school every day, and your mom let you do it.
Yeah, my Ghostbusters outfit.
Didn't care.
Straight Ghostbuster
Right.
on their dog ass in elementary.
Every day.
Every day.
But that lets
Like,
you know
take that shit off.
early on that you're not attached. Like, you don't care what other
No,
people's opinions.
and that's why I said
But
maybe
you more of
weird.
an entrepreneur business.
Right.
So anytime you see
Right.
stuff, you like, oh, that worked.
Right.
You're not thinking it worked. Let me boost my confidence.
Right.
You're thinking, let me break this down and figure out why it worked and how I can use this for these jeopardies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just you have to identify, in my opinion, if you identify that you are sensitive and overly sensitive, you have to let me take that in like you in the AA meeting and let me figure out how to change that. Let me figure out how to think about Shondo a little bit more.
I got it, bro. I think the reason that I know how to that I'm like that in a way is because I know my purpose. And I think a lot of people out here, like, I know my purpose to where to guide that energy. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I'm looking at something, it's like, where do I want to take that energy and apply it? Do I want to take that energy and apply it to the acting, to the fighting, to the inventing? So it's like, if you don't really know your purpose on earth, periods, you get that information and you just spaz with the shit. Because you really don't know who the fuck you are anyway. Right. You get what I'm saying? And even when you said you were like searching for yourself, that's when you said that the thing was fucking with you. Because you were still searking for you. But I think once you
never come back to me negative though.
Say
so
again?
Everything was coming back to me negative. So like you is almost crazy because like you were like the exact opposite of me.
Right.
Like growing up, all I had was the rebound from other people.
I'm sorry. Will that shit pick these up?
What's that?
What?
When they talk.
No, we good.
Okay, I didn't know. I don't know shit.
No, we good. You know, we got guests in the house.
Nah, but
we got guests in the motherfucker. We got guests in the
Nah, but look though, but like I was saying, like you see, like how you was like secure in learning the Ghostbusters, right?
Right.
When I went to Welch Middle School. I went to Welch like in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So when I first showed up, I'm coming from private school,
Right.
so I'm out of there basically.
Right.
So then from looking at everybody else,
You
they
get
got
on fire.
the South Side fades,
Yeah.
they got the Stay Flow starchy Archies,
Yeah.
they got the J's on their feet.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to adjust,
Right.
because this is not working.
It's not working for
like,
me.
I'm chubby out of shape. I'm wrinkled up.
I'm sorry.
I'm wrinkled up with glasses. I got a flat top that lean.
They lit your ass up.
They lit it every day.
They lit this
every
nigga
day.
up.
I know you had the Gumby, but it wasn't
I had the
supposed
Gumby,
to
but it was like the.
But you had the Gumby though.
I had the Gumby, but
At least you had the fucking
It
Gumby.
was by accident.
Look.
Something wrong.
Say, I know you battle tested though. See, that's how this motherfucker be ready to roll so fast. They told your ass up from age
Every
12
day,
to 14.
no, 6th grade, I was depressed.
I know
Look,
they told
so look,
you
I had to
that.
go get me a bottle of Stay Flow, right? So you know, I just iron. I don't know how to get my starchy Archie right. So I just iron like the edge of the pants.
No.
Right? So I put the pants on. I'm
my
going to
God.
school. Everything else wrinkled, but I got like a shark fin on my pants.
I already had two
right?
jokes waiting for that and I just heard it. Oh, I'm glad you still with us.
I was like,
God damn. You went to Welch?
So I'm on first in West Belfort. Well, I'm like, yes.
Oh my
I'm
God.
holding, but I walked up everybody like, no sir. But I just had to go through it. But eventually, I got my J game on. I eventually lost weight and all that.
Right.
But once I saw how everybody's attitude changed towards me, I stopped giving a fuck.
Right.
I'm like, y'all fake as hell, bro.
But
when
that's the thing.
when I was
That's the
wrinkling
thing.
with the shark fins, I was
Right.
fucking with me. Once
Right.
I got my starch game right, and I lost a little weight, got my fade tight.
Right.
Now everybody want to be my friend.
Look at me now.
So I'm like, well, fuck this then.
Right.
So that's when I started giving a fuck about what people thought and
Right.
being all emotional. I was like, man.
But see, me, when I look at that, like, at this point,
I heard a lot of things in there. I heard a little bit of confidence in there because now you build character.
See, that's what I'm saying.
You wasn't go through some
I'm a
stuff.
silver-minded thinker.
That's all
Like, you know what I'm
Character
saying?
got
Like,
built.
to be real, you really got baptized by fire for real. Because you got your ass lit up.
Every day.
But I mean, to be real, like even when we go back to the I mean, but even when I go back to the fighting, that's really how I learned. Getting lit the fuck up.
Facts.
Like you learn best when you get your ass lit up. And I think, you know what I mean? I think that gets you to knowing you a lot faster. But like
that goes back to maybe the second point
okay.
that you was having, and you have to allow yourself to go through that fire and get tested.
Yeah.
Meaning, I think I might know where I might end up with it, but think about everybody that's been coddled for the last, maybe call it 20 years with the participation trophies and stuff like that.
Man,
oh, you matter. You're good.
No,
you okay, Timmy? Like, come on, it's better.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to let
Timmy
somebody
need to
you
hear
suck.
me terrible.
When you hear you
You
suck,
gotta hear me terrible.
Bro, when
Right.
you hear you suck, when you the Michael Jordan get cut, you like,
Right.
oh, I suck.
That
I need to go back in the gym
monster.
and
Right.
work on this, work on that.
But that's
Like, you gotta hear that. You can't always be coddled. You gotta be battle tested.
But
Like,
that's where the combo comes in. You know what I mean? With a lot of young dudes, sometimes they may not have exposure to a motherfucker that's gonna challenge them in that way. You know what I'm
it's the people
saying?
you keep.
No, I'm talking about younger guys
Bro.
that's growing up. You know what I mean?
You know what's so cold about that?
Remember when we talked before? It was about like a lot
What
of guys
age are
that
you talking about younger though? When you say, what demographic?
13.
But think about it, none of them got exposure because they all online.
No, but
They all sitting there
But
on
I'm
my
saying when you play a sport or you interact, you get exposed.
But think about how it's gonna be now.
What?
Sports, I mean,
I mean,
think
they still playing sports.
They still
Yeah.
playing, but don't you think? I think the fundamental culture of it
Yeah.
is gonna be changed.
No, I don't think because I can't, bruh. If I'm around a kid or anybody like that, I can't change trying to hype them up and get the best I can. I don't give a fuck if it's a match. If I gotta stand way the fuck. Like if I'm around you, I can't help but to say, hey, let's get it together. You got this.
Right.
You're a lot better than what you're showing today. Like
Right.
I don't think I would be able to help doing that. So anybody that's really like that,
Right.
I don't give a fuck what type of circumstances they have to coach. I think that shit's still gonna come out.
Right.
So I think the kid is still going to benefit from that. And sometimes, to be honest with you, bro, it's just the energy of him. Bro, my dad, this motherfucker just being there, the energy of this motherfucker being there kept me like this.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't,
That's a whole nother-
it wasn't like, hey,
Hey.
bruh, you already know what I'm talking about. That shit make a motherfucker be like,
That's
like,
crazy.
And that's no words. This motherfucker could have had a mask on. He could have had to sit 25 feet from me. Knowing this nigga was anywhere in the vicinity.
Right. Will make you just.
Had a motherfucker. Because you couldn't act with a certain level of emotion because he'll sit there and just look at you.
Right. You be like, what's going
Man,
on?
Like,
like,
wow.
Jim. See,
He be like, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
hearing that because I'm getting excited because I remember playing. I think my dad went to every sporting game
that's
that I
dope.
had.
That's dope.
And he used to drive a hostess truck. And back in LA, when I was at the park in Little League playing baseball,
You saw that
on
bitch
Saturday,
rolled up.
like, yeah, he was parking like the alleyway and he had the hostess truck.
Yeah.
So the game was starting, I know when he drive or where
Right,
he at, I can feel it.
right.
Sometimes, like the beginning, maybe I didn't see it.
Yeah.
From like the end of the first inning,
Yeah.
playing baseball, saw that truck,
Yeah.
I didn't know where he was. I just,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you just act different. But that's like
Motherfucker,
having
yeah.
a man around. So
That's all I'm
I
saying.
sympathize for the ones that don't have
Yeah.
it around. It's like,
Me?
how do you get that?
What? Me?
Right. Like,
But
I
no,
can't answer that. I don't know
that's-
how you get that.
That's why I say, if it is a situation where it is your little one, you know what I mean? You gotta get them in those situations because
like sports and
just
any kind
sports
of
mentorship, like or even the stuff that they fuck with, the stuff that they consume, like they need to watch men conducting themselves in a certain way.
They need that male energy to soak up. Cause like you said, your dad showed up to yours. Do you know? Like I was on a Calvin Murphy basketball camp,
Okay.
8th grade.
Shout out to
Calvin Murphy, right? So we have a championship game, whatever, right? So it's the last. So my mom couldn't make it; she had to work.
Yeah.
My sister's boyfriend at the time was the
Yeah.
only person who could make it, right?
Yeah.
He dope for coming.
Do you know that memory
Right.
stuck with me
Yeah.
to
I know.
this day?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
To this day, but that's how powerful that shit is,
Bro, so when they broke up, do you know I never forgave her for that? Like
Yeah.
she even ended up getting married to another dude and married whatever.
Right,
But the
yeah.
fact that I like, bro, he was so real. Y'all wasn't, you know what I mean? And he showed up to your brother's game. You know what I mean? So
Somebody at the door.
Sound like
sound like
That's crazy. That's crazy that
No,
somebody
that's-
that like your sister's boyfriend showed
right.
up for
So,
that.
see,
Like, that's
I wasn't even
dope.
worried about my mom not showing up.
Yeah.
I was on the fact that he showed up
Yeah.
and he was cheering me and he was talking to me between everything and
Yeah.
just having him there. Then after the game, he was like, man,
Yeah.
just having that. And, I didn't have my father, so
Yeah.
just having that, I was like, man, it
Man,
was so
I
loud.
100% think that
That's a
male
real thing, bro.
mentorship, whether it's from a brother, a dad, or whoever,
Yeah.
is super
That shit's,
important.
that's crazy important.
Super important.
Tell
I
me,
also
dog.
think like the people you keep around you, bro, because
Well, I mean, when you get to a certain age.
yeah, when I was in that
Yeah.
that high school,
Yeah, now that's
middle
when it.
school,
Yeah, that's when it's
like
important.
that circle
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah.
like-minded people that you want to be around.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
what that-
what kind of peer pressure are your friends putting on?
Right.
Yeah,
See, I didn't have any because I well, excuse me. I had friends, but I'm saying I didn't have the peer pressure necessarily because the people that I hung out with, we were all like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like this what we are.
Bo is to my day to this day.
Right.
Like to this day.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Shout out.
When did you trademark that?
Right.
Get a trademark.
Trademark that.
What the fuck, bro?
But
hey, USTPO.com.
Right
now. Because I fuck around trademark that motherfucker. And said everybody is cease and desist. Put that bitch on a t-shirt. Bro, Beyonce, get it, dog. Because I'm finna look this up.
I'm
gonna look that trademark up when this motherfucking shit over.
For that one.
Yeah.
But it's still, to my point, it's still my boys today.
Yeah.
Freshman year of college, still some of my same boys that I got today. Because I pride myself that at least I identify with people that think the same. Like if you was on something that we wasn't really on, you wasn't in that circle.
Right.
So how do you, okay, so
you gotta identify that too.
They say you like, okay, at this age as men,
right,
it's harder to just make no, like let's say I'm trying to get 1% better.
Right.
I'm trying not to be emotional.
Right.
I'm surrounded by people though who might just be in the echo chamber.
I know what you finna ask, and I got the answer.
So how I'm gonna get out of it? Like, how I dismiss it, and then I try to get with another group of guys who might be more motivational, iron sharpening iron situation. Right. What should I do?
Now, when you think about what's going on now, why are you here? You here because I asked you to be.
Right, for sure.
So that already in itself is you trying to put yourself in position to be around stuff that's different than you're normally around.
Right.
Could have gave excuses.
Right.
Could have done a bunch of shit.
Right.
Like, I mean, we understand this.
Right.
But the thing is that at a certain point in time, bro, when we get to a certain age, it's like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Who the fuck I'm supposed to be around.
Right.
Like this ain't a thing no more to where you like, I don't really know if Craig cool to chill with.
Right.
Nigga, you know Craig ain't the nigga to hang with.
Right.
Craig ain't up to a bitch ass thing. Like, why the fuck you still hanging with Craig?
Right.
Like, why is my nigga Craig still in the Rolodex? Like, we don't need to be hanging with Craig no more.
Damn.
Right? Especially for where we're trying to go. If we're trying to go somewhere. And so if you claim to be a dude or I hate to just say dude, but this is who it's with.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
Like
If you anybody that says you want to go from here to there or just progress in anything that you're doing, you gotta understand yourself that you being around the right people is really numero uno. Because that's what's gonna feed your spirit, your soul, your mind, all that shit. So if the people are fucked up, you probably gonna be fucked up. Cause who you talking to? Who you stirring the shit water with? You talking to motherfuckers that's always got a problem. Bro, have you ever heard people that get, and like, I had aunties, they would get on the phone, it's like it's always a problem. So when it's dudes that jump online and it's always a problem, you like, my nigga, like, you mimicking.
What?
You see what I'm saying?
A product of your environment.
That's what I'm saying. You mimicking.
I believe it so much.
You mimicking.
For me, my rebuttal and my answer to that, I should say, bro, we live in 2020, soon to be 2021. Everything is at your fingertips. Just like we keep talking about anything you want to learn is on YouTube.
Anything.
Bro, whoever finds this podcast, if it works for them, if they watch this on YouTube, whatever, and we're saying some stuff that you agree with is in your line of thinking or how you want to think, keep listening. If not, move on, go to the next one. Same thing. There's so much information out there. You can't say there's not enough information.
Right.
It's almost too much information.
I was just about to say that.
Just find that, like, watch, listen. Yeah. Don't look. Okay, I don't listen to that podcast because it only got 200 followers.
Right.
Like, if it speaks to what you to your mindset and how you want to be or what you.
So how do we get on that? Like you say, the numbers, right?
But listen.
You know how people aren't? Don't you feel like the people influenced by
no. Think about
you fixing up jewels.
Be real with yourself.
Yeah, be real.
They are influenced.
Sometimes you look in the mirror and just gotta know.
You gotta know.
I feel like people 1,000% are influenced by numbers. It's the first thing you see. I know if I want to follow you or look at what you're doing based on how many followers you got. We already know that that's the first thing people look at.
Right.
But if you somebody that's really looking for some type of jewel or some type of answer to something, the motherfucker don't gotta look like me. They don't gotta come from where I come from. See, a lot of times people are looking for the association, like, oh, you grew up in this situation, so because you did it, I can do it. So they're always looking for the confirmation from somebody just like them.
Right.
Bro, I can get a jewel from an 80-year-old Asian chick.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. She may have 10 followers on her shit, but she say something to be like, oh, hold on.
Hold on, that's facts.
Hold on. So my thing is that being open to information from all angles, and I think that
Open to information.
open information. We got to get more open to information from any source. It can't just be your favorite rapper that give you your information or your favorite athlete that give. You got to be able to take in and consume information from multiple fucking sources. You got people that's building their whole life and thought process on how their favorite rapper thinks.
That's a fact.
And that's an L. You're gonna take a.
It's scary. It's scary too.
I mean, it's
Super scary. Like
because they don't understand.
themselves a version of that name. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people identify so much, like you're saying, with an avatar of a person that they think they should be like. That they'll call themselves like, you know, just for example, Nicki Minaj, a chick will be like, oh, I'm a Houston Barbie chick.
Right.
I'm like,
and
then all your pictures and everything you do is trying to imitate another person. Like, you don't even know who you are.
You can go through a rabbit hole. Like, it's funny that you say that you were saying what you was just saying, because growing up, I always, in my mind, I may not have said it verbally a lot, but I was always like, man, I'm willing to learn from a 7-year-old.
Right.
I was saying this when I was like 16, 17. Like, well, if he got a game I can learn, I can learn. And that's becoming more of a reality, because we got kids now that can probably do stuff on phones.
For sure,
they can teach us stuff on the computer. Like, they do stuff. Like, so you have to be open to accepting information. That's why I think
you never dumb until you stop learning. Like, you never stupid until you stop. Once you know everything, that's when you dumb.
Yeah.
Once you so certain that you got all the answers, that's when you really ignorant. That's true ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Once you can't learn no more, once you can't pick up no more game, you out of the.
But see, that's why when you do stuff like, just say for instance, fighting is like ever evolving. Like, so when I'm doing business and I'm gone from sparring and all that type of shit, and I'll come, like, I remember before, like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I hadn't sparred, man, probably like a year or so, because it was so much business stuff happening, or some TV shit. So I was always, when I got back to sparring, it was like, you can see how motherfuckers' game starting to evolve, and it was like, ooh, like, this is different than it was X amount of time. Like, it happens so gradually, but if you catch it, it's like, if I don't see a dog from the time it's 8 weeks and pop back in on it when it's 6 months, to me, the change is going to be drastic. But for the owner, it's going to be like, oh yeah, he did get big. He sees it every day.
Absolutely.
So when it comes down to that, putting yourself in situations where you have to learn. Like, if in fighting, if you don't learn, a motherfucker will teach you.
Right.
Like, it ain't no way to get around that shit.
Yeah.
If you not dealing with this smooth ass leg kick that this motherfucker doing, he's gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not putting yourself in situations where you're forced to learn, then you can get away with just listening only to this perspective.
One side.
You know what I mean? And when you look at the post, you're like, this post isn't coming from a person that has all the information. You taking this little bit of information. Oh, all y'all got in here is water? No, you just looking over here, some big ass fridge over there. That motherfucker may have juice and all. But if you only over here, you gonna be like, and whatever my boy had, this
it's gone.
You gonna be like, this is all this here. Not being open to the fact that it's a refrigerator over there. So that's what I think. We gotta, you know, especially little dudes, we gotta put ourselves in situations where we're doing more things to be open to shit. We gotta learn.
I'm with you, bro.
You know what I mean?
Like, speaking to that, just to pull the curtain back, I'm learning right now. Like, for whatever reason, it was put in my spirit, heart, came from what I was watching, looking at, thinking about business opportunities and stuff, and just something crazy. I was like, man, let me see how it is to make a candle.
Right.
Bro, for the past 2 days at night, between like 7 and 9, instead of watching Netflix, I'm like just on YouTube, just learning the mechanics of the candle.
Right.
Next week, I might start buying some stuff just to start pouring at different temperatures. Like, I'm just learning. Like, you can just pick up on stuff. Now, not to say that, especially at my age now, like, you can't tell me something, I'm just like take you face to face or carry what you think.
Right.
But in the past, it could have been a situation where, like, bro, you making candles for girls. Like, hey, like, make candles. Like, bro, like, I'm just curious about it and I just want to do it.
Right.
might have an LLC. I might start a
Open
company.
up candles.
Who knows?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I thought about it, so now I'm just doing the research.
See, that's the beautiful thing about it right now.
But you know
and whatever I learned from making a candle, who knows what
that could lead into.
That's what I
it
was
can lead to something else.
That's what
I
I'm
can
about to
take
say.
those principles in another business somewhere else. Like, you have to always be thinking to how you can evolve.
Evolve.
and
I got
Evolve.
I got to throw a story out there. So you know Post-it notes, right?
Yeah.
Post-it notes. The way they started, the guys that created it, basically they were trying to make a super glue, right? Super glue was trash. They could not find the right formula to make the solid bond with it.
Was that a waste?
What?
Story. I'm listening.
Right. So
I'm-
they were pissed that they couldn't get the concoction or the chemical shit right to make a solid super glue.
Yeah.
One day in the office, they put the shit on the back of a piece of paper and wrote a note for a coworker and stuck it either on his desk, cubicle, something like that.
Yeah.
The guy got it and pulled the note off and read it,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Man, I kind of like the way you could just stick this
Yeah,
on some
it
shit,
didn't hurt
and
the table,
it didn't really stick to it. Like you could just put it on a wall, and it didn't pull the paint. It didn't do nothing." So their office was like, "Can you make some of these?" They were like, "Yeah." They made some of them. Then after that, bro, it became a thing. Like Post-it notes became. Now imagine if they would have succeeded at fucking making that super glue. They'd have been one of hundreds of fucking brands on the market.
Right, facts.
You see what I'm saying?
And then they find their own lane.
Bruh, from that experience, they thought they failed, but they really won.
Right.
Because that shit turned into Post-it notes.
Right.
And my nigga, how many Post-it notes have you seen in your
To this
life?
day.
To this day.
Right.
You know
The
what I
crazy part
mean?
about that is, just like there's a few brands that I can think of that can rattle off. Post-it note.
Yep.
You could be writing on something that's not a Post-it note, but you call it a Post-it
Call
note.
it a
Post-it
It's
note.
like Kleenex.
Yep.
Instead of saying tissue, you call it a Kleenex.
Kleenex, all man. That's
Right now,
great.
the most recent thing
That's
that I
true.
was talking about was Zoom. Well,
Yeah.
you could be on a Skype, but
That's a
right
Zoom.
now we call it a
Ain't
Zoom.
that crazy though? How
Hey,
someone
hey,
came in and took that
But,
over?
but listen though, like that's why, and this is some business advice for if a motherfucker get. So like I have several trademarks. So for one of the products I have trademarked, it's Jabber, right? That's the name. But then you itemize what it is, so it's Jabber Combat Trainer. Because what'll happen is that if your trademark outlines what it actually does, other people can use it. It's like Weed Eater fucked up with that years and years ago when they first created the Weed Eater.
Yeah.
Like they just called their trademark Weed Eater. But Weed Eater describes what it does. It eats weeds.
Gotcha.
So other brands were able to say, "Oh, we weed eaters too," because we also eat weeds. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
They should have called it like Weed Eater Weed Extraction Machine. Like you got to put the name and then the subcategory of what it is in there. Because if you don't, people can just use it.
That's
You
crazy.
get what? Because it's describing what it does.
Gotcha.
So that's weed. Yeah, Weed Eater they learned it the hard way, but just like you said, but that's a testament to how powerful Zoom has become.
Right.
That's a testament to how powerful Coke is. If it's a red can
Right.
at the barbecue, even
Right.
if it's a Shasta or something, don't be that Coke.
Go give me a Coke. Yeah,
Give
if
me
it's a
that
dark
Coke.
cola,
Give
if
me
it ain't
that Coke.
Ruby or something,
Give me that
like,
Coke.
Give me a Coke. You got a Coke.
Give me that Coke.
What's the Pepsi? What the
You
fuck
know,
is it? But
yeah.
everything that's dark is a Coke.
Yeah.
That's just because they have
Brand.
dominated that particular industry. Post-it note. It don't matter if it's some cheap dollar store brand shit. Don't matter. It's a Post-it
You
note.
got a Post-it over there.
So do you think maybe the dudes who maybe tend to be more emotional
Yeah.
have maybe accepted failure as like a final verdict, and they maybe not trying to find the win?
I think they not putting themselves in position to even fail or win.
right.
They being safe.
I think, yeah, ooh,
know what I mean?
you hit it. You hit it.
No, I'm just saying.
That's what
I think.
they're trying to be safe.
Yeah.
They're playing it. They're not accessing the other part of their brain to where they can think for themselves,
Right.
so to speak,
Right.
to a certain degree.
Right.
Right.
Like that was just the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. Right.
That fell in my feed. That was easy for me to repost that real
Right.
quick.
Right.
They go to
Like,
path
man,
of
look what
least
such
resistance.
thing.
Right. Exactly.
Oh,
Without any.
that wasn't real.
Yeah.
That was fake.
Right.
You fell for the bait. Okay.
Right. And it happens all the time. So yeah, man, that's what it is when you start really getting down and really going into the rabbit hole of emotions. It's so many different places that you can go. It's so many different ways to be able to deal with it. And when you ask like, what can they do? I think we just spout off like a bunch of shit that motherfuckers can do. Number one, you gotta put yourself in position to where you open to learn from other people.
Right. You gotta be open
You
to
can't
learn.
know, like, you can't just know it all. I'll go in a fucking MMA class in another city. I won't even talk about fighting professionally, and I'm just in there in your class.
Right.
And if I see a 17-year-old that's doing it, I'm like, oh, show me that kick again, bro.
Right. So
And
you
you know
gotta
what I mean?
humble yourself too. Probably swallow that ego.
I hate the word humble, but
Humble,
I get what you say. You just be open, bro. Like,
Right.
like you are better. Like, he's better than me at technology.
Right.
That's why I asked him when we were doing the hey, bro, can you come fuck with us on this podcast, man?
Right.
Number one, because I think your perspective is gonna be dope. Number two, you have a knowledge of this that I don't necessarily have.
Right.
So instead of trying to rack my brain on mics and this, he's got this ability.
That's what I say. I say people are the
You know what
greatest
I mean?
resource. Like I feel like humans
Mastermind alliances.
are the like you can gain decades of wisdom just by aligning yourself with a certain person. You can gain a whole network of people that if you've been a shut in, but you know one dude who got a whole network and he tap you in and y'all bond it. You know what I mean? So I think that's where we need to kind of get more to, because the online stuff will make you see everybody in the vacuum, or make you demonize a whole group of people, or make you look at one. If we just start connecting with each other and realizing, hey man, it's dope as hell for your perspective, because that can open my mind up to a whole nother world that I would have. And I
be nice to people and be open.
Right.
Be open, bro.
So if anybody that I knew was leaving high school, going to college, I like, bro, talk to everybody, because you never
everybody
next. You
know,
talk to you.
Never know. Like I went to a school now. I'm
Everybody.
at Hampton University, and the people I came in with, some people I went to school with. If you look across the board, you was like, man,
overachievers
like,
now. Yeah.
It's just so many, like, in so many different disciplines, and so many different areas of business, and went to business schools and stuff. It's like, yo, I know him because I was talking to, like, I can connect with people.
That's
like,
the
just
thing.
talk to everybody.
Right.
So
And just being open. Whether it's a 12-year-old, whether it's a white girl, it could be an Asian kid, like whomever that individual is.
Right. If they willing
to have a
go back and
conversation.
forth with you, then exchange.
I ain't gonna lie, even if they not willing to go back and forth with me,
I
want to learn.
soak it up.
I'm looking. I'm like, because it may not be what you. It may not be what you saying. Like the little dude throwing that little kick. It may, even if I don't ask him about that kick, I'm like, oh, he pivoting. Okay, I got that. Like, it's just about you understanding that you don't know it all. It is dope to ask and look for information, because if you don't fucking do it, you're gonna only have the knowledge that's in your head right now, which is limited.
Right.
We all limited on knowledge. I'm limited. I could try to learn all of this shit at one time and take another month to get the shit. Or I can say, this is my brother right here.
Right.
Alliance with him.
Right.
I like how CJ come at shit from left field sometimes. Let's make this alliance. Like, this is a mastermind alliance that we've made.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what, and I always refer to shit as that, like, it's a mastermind alliance. I feel like I'm great at what I do. You're great at what you do. You're great at what you do. Why not combine that and try to create something that's great for other people that may be paying attention? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that when it comes down to emotion, that's what we gotta do. We gotta open ourselves up. We gotta not be, so emotional about stuff just on some knee-jerk type stuff. We have to fact check shit, and we gotta really think about it. Bro, you know if you're emotional right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, you know that about yourself.
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker be like, man, I'm a hothead. Like you know these things
take a
about
pride in it and shit.
you know these things about yourself at this point.
Yeah.
So now at this point, it's on you. It's on the old boy who I sent the message back and forth with on Facebook, who was like, why would you say America is dope? I'm like, well, why would you say it's nice?
Right.
Like, and then I went through the list. Like, you got little kids that's turning on their phones and then change their whole family dynamic because they're influencing.
Right. Exactly.
You got 16-year-olds that's millionaires and taking care of their whole family.
Right.
Like,
that's not dope.
Bruh, like
They make
this
right.
is the dopest country on the fucking
You do whatever you
planet.
want to do.
Right. You can become the greatest version of yourself.
And if you're not thinking in an emotional way and only paying attention to what people are feeding you consistently, then you can really take a step back and look and say, bruh, this is the dopest fucking place on the planet. How can I maximize to get my piece of the fucking American dream?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you alive in it anyway, so what's the point of complaining? Even if you don't agree, okay, well then work on the solution and then go find your piece somewhere else. If that's what you believe it is.
But that's why I asked him. I said, where you going?
Yeah,
I said, so I can drop a card to you to see how you doing.
You still gotta do some grinding.
But you ain't looked at, motherfucker hadn't looked at no land, no nothing. So you just talking.
You just talking.
You just talking.
Talk.
You just talking.
Yeah.
You're being emotional
Right.
now.
Don't do it.
That's it. Don't do it. Don't just sit and go off emotions, man. We gotta be thinkers. We gotta be free thinkers, but we also gotta be level-headed thinkers. Because, like we said, especially as men, it look totally different when you being emotional versus a woman being emotional.
Right.
It's a lot scarier and more threatening when you being emotional outside versus maybe if your mama got on somebody's ass outside.
Right.
So we gotta think about these things. We gotta be able to overcome, we gotta be able to maximize our talents, our situations, and come out on top.
Exactly.
I'm with it.
You feel me?
I agree with that totally.
Now, episode 2 in the books. What you think?
Man,
I
I
feel it.
What you
Yeah,
think?
I know, right?
What you think?
I like having a real conversation. I
Fuck,
like hearing
I
different
do too.
perspectives.
I do
like,
too.
man, I just like
I do too,
hearing, man, just close your mouth and just listen and pick up something.
Yeah.
You know, add a little
Hey, look,
negative
that's what
in,
I'm
but
learning
just
from
pick
this
up something.
because like a real talk. I've been a person who like tend to. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to say it without sounding like arrogant or whatever. But you know, when you got the most vocabulary, the most thoughts on a subject, you tend to be like a big fish in a smaller pond.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
But that's why you gotta open yourself up.
right. So that's what I'm saying.
ocean.
So that's why I'm like, I gotta swim out more and free up. Because I
Exactly.
don't want to be like, I'm just whatever.
Nah.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's good to talk to other people who are successful or come from different backgrounds, and I can keep learning and growing. And then hopefully when I do say something to somebody, I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about, or I can at least take in what they telling me. You know what I mean? So,
Bro, I hate to go into it, but bro, I had a coach, this motherfucker used to call up gyms and be like, hey, my fighter coming in that'll beat everybody else, will be there at 5. Bruh, when I would go in there, these motherfuckers would be so ready to demolish me, my nigga. Like, and it forced me to have to be able to adjust. But he did that for a reason.
right.
He did it for a reason. And Chemo, shout out to Chemo, like, he used to just call Jim and be like, hey, my guy wants to spar. And it's like, when you say it a certain way, motherfuckers know, like, let me have my guys ready. This motherfucker think he finna come in here. So, opening yourself up, bro. Like, if you already know that you the big fish in your group, it's probably time to start expanding to other groups. And you know what I mean? And seeing if somebody got a perspective that's like, ooh, okay.
Deep game.
Peep that, you know what I mean? So that's what this is about, man. It's about not only us providing you guys with any type of content, but I mean, I feel like I be pumped up after we get through talking.
I do
bro.
too.
Yeah,
Man, one thing I just thought about what you
Shit.
just said that I want to leave before we close this out.
What is it?
Is, man, when you start identifying that, you start identifying like, man, maybe I'm not what I want to be, or
Right.
maybe I am a little bit of a sheep.
Yeah.
You won't say it to your boys. You probably say it to yourself when you look in the mirror when you get in bed at night. Man, you gotta be willing to leave people behind, bro.
You got to.
You gotta be like, you know what? I can't keep hanging out with Craig. You gotta be willing to leave people, and sometimes it's the closest people to you.
Bro.
It could be.
I
know, Craig, it could be the bad. Man, this is bad. The person that's feeding you the most negativity could be the closest person. It might be your mom, it might be your dad,
That's always.
it might be your sister.
That's all like episode 3 to me.
Hey,
dog.
right. That does
That's
sound
all
like
episode 3 to me.
You gotta
That
be
does sound like
episode
episode
3.
3. But you know what though? When that happens, that's why if you expose yourself to other people. I've been I've been around people and I get a chance to just soak up the game and watch them make a decision like that, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people have problems like making a decision. Like, am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do that? Hey, as if you're a guy, like, please be able to make a decision. Like you got to be able to make a decision.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Episode 2.
Yeah, you
Quick
got
with
to.
decisions.
But they gotta be. But it has to be.
You think it out.
It's gotta be. But it's gotta be. Like this is it.
It's it.
This is how we rocking. If you don't fuck with Craig no more, you don't fuck with Craig no more.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah.
So that's what it's gotta be. I think that's you right, bro. Like being able to do that, make the decision, but that also goes into like understanding yourself and understanding like what you need to become so that, you know what I mean, or what you need to do to become what you want to become.
Yeah. So it's ecosystem, man.
That's
It all go hand in hand.
That's it. Hey, that was episode 2 of the 1% Better podcast. My boy Melly Dale.
Yes, sir.
I'm my boy CJ Winning. And I'm your boy Shondo Blaze, man. We had a good time with you, so come back next week. We're gonna have some shit to talk shit about again.
All right.
Craig, hey, this is Craig out there.
Hey, Craig, no disrespect.
No
Craig.
disrespect,
That's the
Craig.
name we
I got like 2
Yeah.
Uncle Craigs.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
You know, but that shit just rolled so smooth
Like Craig.
that we was on Craig John Gas the whole podcast.
It's always a crazy.
We'll see y'all, man. We out here.
Peace.
That's it. That's solid.